Hello, and welcome to our lesson on subtraction for negative integers. In this lesson, we'll build on what we already know about integers by introducing the operation of subtraction. First, we'll review the concept of negative integers to reinforce our understanding. Then, we'll delve into subtraction involving negative integers, breaking down the steps to perform these operations correctly. Finally, we'll run through various examples to apply this new knowledge and see it in action. In our previous lessons, we've established a strong foundation by familiarizing ourselves with positive integers and the four operations. We have developed our understanding of how to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with whole numbers. We also learnt how to complete addition with negative integers confidently and accurately. With this solid foundation, we can now explore the technique of subtracting negative integers. Let's get started. When it comes to subtracting negative integers, there are three essential cases to consider. A negative integer minus a positive integer. A positive integer minus a negative integer. And a negative integer minus a negative integer. It's important to note that, unlike addition, subtraction is not commutative. This means that the order in which you subtract numbers matters. Therefore, cases 1 and 3 are not the same. Let's start with subtracting a positive integer from a negative integer. To make this intuitive, let's use a number line. Imagine that your friend has a £6 debt. This means that their balance is minus £6. Now, your friend asks to borrow an additional £4 from you, which increases their debt by £4. So, their balance becomes minus 6 minus 4. On the number line, you start at minus 6 and move 4 steps to the left, increasing the debt. This brings you to minus 10. Thus, minus 6 minus 4 equals minus 10. More generally, if you have a negative integer, like minus 5, minus a positive integer, like 3, this is equivalent to adding the positive integers, 5 plus 3, and putting a minus sign in front. So, minus 5 minus 3 equals minus 5 plus 3, star itra, which equals minus 8. Next, let's consider subtracting a negative number from a positive number. Imagine that your friend has £24, but they owe you a £6 debt. So their balance looks like this. Feeling generous, you decide to take away their debt. You subtract minus £6 from their balance. On the number line, subtracting a negative is equivalent to adding the corresponding positive number. So 18 minus 6 is equal to 18 plus 6, which is equal to 24. Hence, the balance is brought back to £24. More generally, for a positive number, like 5, minus a negative integer, like minus 3, this is equivalent to adding the positive integer counterpart of the negative number to the positive integer. One helpful rule to remember is that two minuses make a plus. Therefore, 5 minus 3 is equal to 5 plus 3, which is equal to 8. Finally, let's discuss how to subtract a negative integer from another negative integer. Imagine that your friend has a £6 debt. Hence, their balance is minus £6. This time, you feel sorry for them and decide to take away their debt. So you subtract minus 6 from their balance. This can be written as minus 6 minus 6. On the number line, subtracting a negative number is equivalent to adding the positive equivalent of that number. So minus 6 minus 6 equals minus 6 plus 6, which is equal to 0. As such, their balance is now 0. More generally, if you have a negative number, like minus 2, minus a negative integer, like minus 3, this is equivalent to adding the positive integer counterpart of the negative number to the first negative integer. Thus, minus 2 minus 3 equals minus 2 plus 3, which equals 1. By understanding these three cases and using the number line for intuition, you can confidently approach any problem involving the subtraction of negative integers. Let's consolidate this skill with some practice. First, let us look at a simple subtraction. What is 3 minus 4? First, we should recognize that subtracting a negative integer is equivalent to adding its positive counterpart, or that 2 minuses equal a plus. Therefore, 3 minus 4 becomes 3 plus 4. Now, you can perform the addition. 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. So 3 minus 4 is equal to 7. Now let's look at subtracting a negative from a negative. What is minus 5 minus 3? First, apply the rule. Subtracting a negative integer is the same as adding the positive counterpart. Still, 2 minuses are equal to a plus. Thus, minus 5 minus 3 becomes minus 5 plus 3. Now you can perform the addition. Start at minus 5 on the number line and move 3 steps to the right. This brings us to minus 2. Therefore, minus 5 minus 3 is equal to minus 2. Now, let's subtract a larger negative from a smaller negative. What is minus 2 minus 7? First, change the operation. Minus 2 minus 7 becomes minus 2 plus 7. Now, you can perform the addition. Start at minus 2 on the number line and move 7 steps to the right. This brings us to 5. So minus 2 minus 7 is equal to 5. Finally, let's subtract a small negative from a large positive. What is 6 minus 1? First, convert the subtraction. 6 minus 1 becomes 6 plus 1. Now, you can perform the addition. 6 plus 1 is equal to 7. Therefore, 6 minus 1 is equal to 7. In today's lesson, we explored the concept of subtracting negative integers, a crucial skill in arithmetic and algebra. We began by reviewing the nature of negative integers and introduced 3 essential cases for subtraction: a negative integer minus a positive integer minus a negative integer, and a negative integer minus a negative integer. Through examples and intuitive explanations, we solidified our grasp on how to handle subtraction involving negative integers. This knowledge equips us with the ability to solve a wide range of mathematical problems, from basic arithmetic to more complex algebraic equations. Watch the rest of the GCSE Maths course at Sophos Education.